Now in previous video or previous lecture, we'll talk about group policies basic part. Okay. Now in this lecture, we are going to talk about group policies again, but some advanced part. Okay. So now let's start the things, guys. So first in this, we need to understand that number one topic in group policies we need to understand is GPO storage. Okay, so if we talk about the GPO storage, so GPO storage means that where your group policy objects or where your group policies are saved in the servers. Okay, so that path is known as GPO storage. Now group policy settings. If we talk about the group policy settings, so group policy settings, or you can see that once you open group policy management, over there we have the container name GPO. Okay, GPO means group policy objects. The full form of GPO is group policy objects. So by default, all the policies are saved in that particular container. Okay, so if we talk about the storage, so what happens? We have one container name. Sorry, we have a container name GPO container. Okay, that container, that GPO is known as group policy objects. Group policy object. Okay, so the container names group policy object. In that, this is a container. Whenever you can create any object, means whenever you can create any group policy, whether you can create your group policy manually or whether you can use the default group policies. Okay, all the group policies are contained by GPO container. Fine. Number one. Number second, when we create the group policies, it automatically saves in the C drive. There is a path we can go for that. So in C, after that Windows, in Windows we have sysvol folder. In sysvol we have domain folder. And in domain we have policy folders, policies. And in policy folders we have GPO GUID. Because every GPO has a unique ID, as you can say, that is known as GPO GUID. So in that you can see that this is the path where by default a GPO is saved. Okay, it saves in sysvol folder. So sysvol folder means sysvol is a folder. Sysvol means system volume. Okay, so I already told you in my previous lectures that when we create domain controllers, two folders automatically created. Number one is NTDS and number second is sysvol. NTDS folder contains domain controller database file and log files, and sysvol folder contains the group policies. Whatever group policy you can create. Okay, fine, you can create 2 policies, 3 policies or 5 policies, or even your default policies also. All the things are contained by sysvol folder by default. Okay, I'll show you this things also, not to worry. Fine. Now if we talk about the next one, so we need to understand is GPO links. We have a second concept is known as GPO links. GPO links. Now what is the meaning of links over there? Okay, so link means, like I was showing you, link means through link we can apply the policies where I need to apply. Okay, link gives me the path of the policies where the policies are applied. Okay, like I'll showing you. If I open my server once, this is my server. Okay, and if I open GPMC, in that gpmc.msc is the command to open group policy management. Okay, now this is the group policy management is there. Okay, now just expand this option. Okay, we have the policies, as you can see that we have the policies, default domain policy also we have. Okay, which I already showing you already. I'll shown all these things in my last video. So default domain policies are also there. We have a default domain controller policies also there. Okay, and we have one policy one is also there, which I apply to this particular OU IT. Now we have the option group policy object. This is the container. Okay, so like if I expand this, as you can see that all 3 policies are contained by group policy object. So if I need to take the backup of my group policies, with the help of this group policy container, we can take the backup also. Like if you want to take the manual backup, so right click on that, we have the option backup all. Once you click on backup all, it's automatically backup all the policies. Okay, fine. And they gives you the path. Like if I click on backup all, so they gives me the path, where the location where you want to save the backup. Okay, so you can save the backup anywhere. It doesn't mean that you need to save the backup in C drive only. No, you can save the backup anywhere in the in the storage. Okay, or if you have a central storage, if you have a internal storage, so wherever you can save the backup. Okay, they ask you for the location. Okay, fine. Now if you talk about the if you go for a one by one on one, like imagine that I don't want to back up all the policies, I want to back up only policy one. Okay, so you just right click on the policy one, we have the option backup. Okay, so you can take the backup with the policy one also. Like if you want to take the backup only policy one, if you don't want to take the backup all the policies. Okay, so we can use like this also. Fine. Now with the help of group policy objects, it's a container. So through this container we can take the backups also. Through this container, through that we can have the restore also. Okay, and now we talk about the I'll showing you the path where the sysvol folder exists and where the policies are exist. Okay, fine. Now first we see the path, and then we go for the links. Now we go for C drive. So I just click on C drive over there, and C drive we need to go to Windows. In Windows we have the option sysvol folder. Let's go for sysvol. Here it is, sysvol folder. Let's open it. Sysvol folder. Okay, and then we can go for domain. In domain we have the options policies. Let's open it, this policies, and now you can see that we have 3 policies are exist. Okay, so I already told you. So if I showing you the path over there, so I told you that it's go for GPO GUID. So this is the GUID which you see over there. This is the GUID. Okay, it's a 48-bit hexadecimal format. It's a hexadecimal format. Okay, it works in hexadecimal format. So this is the GUID. All 3 we have 3 policies, so we have 3 policies are saved, and they're not saved with their names, they save their GUIDs. Okay, fine. Now let's talk about the links. So if I open my group policy management console, and you can see that once I click on my policy one, you have a links option is there. Okay, fine. In links they're showing me that where this policy they applied on, their policy applied on xy.com, and in xy.com where it's applied on the ITOU. Okay, fine. So this is showing me the location where this policy applied. Okay, if you want to unapply this policy, okay, you want that, okay, I don't delete the policy, I just delete the link, because I want that, I don't want to apply this policy anymore. So what I want, I just simply delete the link. So I click on the link, and we have the delete link option is there. Just delete the link, then click on OK. So now you can see that. Now if you go to the, now if in IT there is no policies are there, if you go to policy one, so policy one is created already, but there is in the link, there is no link over there. So it means that this policy are not applied anywhere right now. Okay, so through links we can check the policy where the policy is applied. Okay, like imagine that if you have multiple domain controllers, if you have multiple domain networks, like right now I'm working in parent domain network, we have child domain networks also, we have additional domain networks also. Okay, so now I want to apply parent domain policy, parent domain network group policy on child domain network policy. So we can go for that. Okay, I repeat again, like imagine that this is the policy one, it's created in parent domain controller, parent domain network. Now I want to apply this policy on my child domain network, so we can do that with the help of group policy management. Okay, fine. Even with the help of this group policy management, I'm able to manage my multiple domain networks policies as well through one group policy management console. Okay, so now if you right click on these domains, we have the option show domains. Just click on show domains. See, we have the options over there. So like if I have a multiple domain networks, or if I have multiple domain names over there, so like imagine we have a xy.com, we have a child.xy.com, we have a child1.xy.com, like this. So we need to check all the domains and click on OK. So what happens, they're showing me all the domain policies are there. Okay, through this portal I'm able to manage all the domain policies. Okay, so the concept of link is what? Link means where you link the policy, on which location, on which OU, okay, on which users, on which groups, means whatever you where you want to the required to apply the policy, you can apply the policies as well. Okay, now the next thing we need to understand is that we have a security filtering option is also there. Security filtering means authenticated users. They automatically added authenticated users. Like imagine that I need to apply the policy on only for 2 users. I need to apply the policy only on 2 users. So what I do, either I can make one first OU, and then I move all the users, move both those 2 users on the OU and apply the policy on OU. This is the one option. Or second option is what I do, I just add the users in authenticated users. I just delete this and add only 2 users. So what happens in that case, this policy one is only apply only for 2 users, only on 2 users. That's it. Understood? Okay. So like this you can go for that. So like if you want to apply the policy only 2 users, like this, like if I go for that, like we have a users. So like I remove this. First I need to apply this policy. Okay, first I need to remove this, and I remove this. Okay, and what I need to do, I need to add the 2 users only. Okay, I just add it. Okay, I go for U1. Okay, and I add second user also, U2. That's it. Okay, now U1 and U2 are already added, but still this policy are not applied. Why? Because there's no link. Okay, so now I need to link this policy on the accelerator.com. So right click on that. We have the option link an existing GPO, and we go for policy 1 and click on OK. So now as you can see that now this policy are apply on accelerator.com, but only for 2 users, U1 and U2. That's it. Like this. Okay, fine. You can go like this also. Okay, now like this also you can apply the policies. You can go for the, like if you want to, if you have less number of users, if you have less number of users, you can go like this. If you have huge amount of users, like if you have 500 users or 100 users, so then you can create OU and move the users on the OU, and then you can apply the policies like this. Okay, now we have the next option is known as details. In scope we have a links option is there. So I hope you able to understand links. I hope you able to understand security filtering also. Now we have the option WMA filtering. We'll discuss later this. Okay, first you can go for details. Now we click on details over there. So we have all the detailed information about this policy. So in policy 1, it's working in accelerator.com domain. Okay, owner of this domain is domain admin. Okay, who is able to manage this policy. Created, when is created, when is modified, they already told you. Now what is the version of user version, computer version, and what is the ID of this policy. So this is the GUID of this policy. Okay, and now this policy right now is enabled. Okay, what if I need to disable this policy? So I just expand this. We have the option disabled. So all settings disabled. So what happens? It disabled. Now this policy is disabled. It's not applied on users as well as computer accounts. Now imagine that what I want to apply this policy only on users. I don't want to apply this policy on computers. Okay, so what I do, I expand it. I have the option computer configuration settings disabled. Just simple click on disabled. Computer configuration settings disabled means that what happens now? Now this policy are only apply on users. We are not able to apply this policy on computers. Okay, or go vice versa. You want to apply this policy on computers only. You don't want to apply the policy on users. Okay, you just can go for users configuration settings disabled. Okay, so now what happens in that case? Now this policy is applied only on computers. You can apply this policy only on computers. You're not able to apply this policy on the users. If you apply, it's not working because user configuration we already disabled. Okay, now if you want to apply both the things, okay, so go for enabled, simple. So now these policies are enabled. You can apply this policy on both. Whether we could go for computers, user configuration, user accounts also, and computer accounts also. Okay, fine. Now we have the option settings. So if once you click on settings, they gives you one report. See, it's generating some report. That report is known as RSOP. Okay, that report is known as RSOP. Okay, this is the result you can say that this is for group policy results. So they're showing you all the results. Like why I need this report, like imagine that I will just first click on add over there and click on add and okay. Now why I need this report, like imagine that I already told you that we have in our policy we have 65,000 settings, over 65,000 settings we have. Okay, now I apply on this policy, I configure only 10 settings. Now I need to check which 10 settings I applied, okay, on this policy, or which 10 settings are enabled on this policy. Okay, so with the help of this report I'm able to go for that. Like you can see that if they're showing me that if they're showing me in computer configuration, I'm not no settings defined, there is no settings are enabled in computer configuration. Yeah, but in user configuration one policy is enabled. If I show the policy, as you can see that they told me that start menu and taskbar policy is enabled. Okay, and the policy enabled is remove run menu from start menu. So this is the setting is enabled in user configuration in this policy. Okay, so like it's very difficult to find out, like if I need to find out that which are the settings are enabled in this policy. Okay, so it's very difficult to me to me that we need to find out the settings, okay, which is enabled, because we have it contains over 65,000 settings. So this is a very good feature in group policies. That feature is known as RSOP. With the help of this feature, we able to generate the report, okay, and they're showing me all the report, which settings am I enabled on a particular policy. Now we have the option delegation. Once you click on delegation, so we have the option delegation. Now delegation means that who is which or who is the one who is able to manage this policy. Now by default, domain admins, enterprise admins are able to manage this policy. Okay, they have edit settings, delete, modify, everything. But now imagine that I have one IT user. Like imagine I have a IT3 user 3 is my IT user. I want that user 3 is able to manage this policy. So what I do, I simply click on add over there, and we have the option user 3 is there. I just check names and click on OK. So now you can see that I give the permission to the user 3. By default, all the users have read permissions. They're not able to do anything. So I give every permission, edit settings, delete, modify, security, anything. Able to user 3 is able to go for that. So as you can see that I give user 3 to full permission on this. So after that, what happens? Now user 3 is able to manage this policy 1, only policy 1, not other policies, only policy 1. Understood? Okay. Now if you go to the properties, you can go for U1, go to properties. One thing able to understand is also that, okay, they open this, no. Okay, go to advanced, and I just select the user 1 and click on advanced. Okay, now I'll showing you tell you one thing, that by default, once you add the user in a policy, user have two permissions. One is read and one is, see, if I click on policy 1, so they have a read permission and they have a apply group policy permission is there. If I uncheck this option, imagine if I uncheck this option, okay, if I uncheck this permission, apply group policy, no, and click on apply. Okay, so what happens in that case? Now on this user, this policy are not applied. Why? Because I'm not giving the apply group policy permission over there. Like imagine I go for deny apply this policy on this particular user. So it doesn't matter that this user is added in this policy. This policy are not applied on this user. Understood? Okay, so by default, once you add or once you apply the policy on the particular user or any user, okay, it has two permissions by default, read and apply group policy. If you uncheck apply this policy permission, okay, and click on apply and okay, so what happens? That user is not, it means that the policies are not applying on the particular user. Okay, if you want that, okay, this policy should be applied on this user also, because just simply click on advanced, and you need to just go for down and go for this apply group policies, apply and okay. Now this policy are apply on this particular user. Understood? You want that, you want that, okay, I don't want to remove the user. It's okay, I don't want to remove the user, but I want that this group policy are not applying on the particular user. So what you can do, you just go to permissions and you can uncheck the apply group policy permission. Clear? Okay, so these are the 4 settings provided by group policies. Okay, now we have the option name as WMF filtering. So WMF filtering is you can say that if you want to search anything in the policy, okay, like so we can use WMA filters as well. Okay, like in Excel sheet, how we can apply the filters to search them something. Okay, like same we can apply the filters on group policies as well, but we can apply one filter only at on one policy. We're not able to apply more than one filters in one in a particular policy. Understood? Fine. Now, if you want to create the filters, okay, you need to know WMF filter language. It's a language, XML language, I hope. Okay, just click on this. You have a WMF filtering option is there. Okay, you can say WMF filter is there. Just expand. Just click on this. Okay. Now over there, expand it. Right click on that. We have the option new. Okay, so you can create a new filter. Now it's a new filter description, and then you need to give the define the query. So click on add over there and define the query over there. Okay, so this is a XML or WMA query we have. Okay, so we need to define the query, and then if you know the query, then you can define the queries. Okay, over there. So it's a WMI query we need. So we need to know the WML query language. Okay, and then we can define the query. Like in AD also we have a LDAP protocol, and LDAP also we have a queries. LDAP also query is running. Okay, so like this. Over there also a WMA filter is also a WMA query. So we need to define the query to run this filters. Okay, fine, like this. So in one policy we can apply only one filter. Okay, per policy only one filter we can apply. We're not able to apply more than one filters in a particular policy. So that's what we have a WMI filtering. Okay, just a minute, guys. Okay, so I hope you're able to understand all these things. Now in links, if we talk about the links more, so we have the option over there is in link. We also have one more option is known as enforce and yeah. First we can talk about the enforce links. Enforce means that, like imagine that if you have if you have like okay, like imagine I have a three policies. I apply three policies on one particular OU. Like I'll showing you on the paint. Just wait for that. Like see, like imagine that this is my OU. Okay. This is my OU. Okay. In this OU we have 200 users. Imagine. Okay. Fine. Now I need to define the policies. Imagine we can define more than one policy also in a particular OU. This is my OU. Okay. This is the OU and OU1. You can say that in this OU we have 200 users. Now we have three policies are there. P1, P2, P3. Okay. Now I need to apply all three policies on a particular OU, on this OU. Now the concept is which policy I apply first. The concept is this. Okay. I want to apply all the three policies on the OU1. Okay. But the concept is which policy apply first. Either policy 1 is apply first, or policy 2 is apply first, or policy 3 is apply first. Okay. But I want that a policy 2 apply first. What I want that policy 2 apply first. So what I do, I use enforce settings over there. Okay, like I can showing you, like see, if I go to my server, so we have the option, right click on this, we have the option enforced. So if I click on enforced, so what happens in that case, this policy apply first always. Okay, fine. So if I enable enforced in P2 link, okay, so what happens in that case, this policy apply first on OU1. Okay, after that it decided automatically that P1 is apply one, P1 applies second, and P3 applies second with the help of bandwidth and all the stuffs. Okay, fine. But if I need to define manually that okay, I want to apply P2 first. Okay, so in that case we can use enforced option is there. Okay, so if I go to P2, policy. Okay, and I just right click on the link and just click on enforce over there. So what happens in that case? This policy apply first on a particular OU. Okay, but that is known as enforce links, because we can enforce the links also. Okay, to apply the policy first. Okay, if you have a multiple policies apply on the particular OU, so we can use these things also. Okay, now I already told you how we can disable the policies, how we can enable the policies. Okay, now we have the policy processing order is there. Okay, how your policy process. Okay, so I'll showing you on there. So I'll just remove this. Now see, like imagine that we have a policy order is there. Okay, if you have a policy order is there like this. Like if I talk about the policy orders, so your policy applied start with local. First we apply the local policy. Okay, local GPO, you can say that. Okay, first local GPO is applied. I already told you that when we install server OS in a particular server or a particular system, so by default local policies is working. Okay, so by default local policies is working because it's working in work group. So by default local policy is working. So first local policy is applied. Number second, we have number second it's applied to site GPU. Okay, now after that the policy applies on site. Okay, first it's applied on the local GPU, and after that, like if I create a GPU and apply it to the sites, then it's applied to the sites first. Second, now third we have domain GPU. Domain GPU. Now domain GPU is applied on number third. Okay, so we can use domain GPU as well to apply it. So we can go for domain GPU. So it's applied on your domain. Okay. Third, it applies on a domain. Number fourth, the order is like if I apply to the OU, so go for OU GPU. After that, a GPU applies on OU, and then it's apply on sub OU or child OU if you have sub OU or child OU, like this. So this is the process. Okay, always remember that first your local policy is applied, then site policy is applied, then domain policies, then OU, and then sub OU policies, like this. Or this is the processing order, we can say that. Like this, GPU works. GPU processing order. Okay, so like this your GPU works. Okay, fine. Now we have the option is block inheritance. Now it's a very good option in GPU. Okay, we have the next option we need to understand is block inheritance. Block inheritance. I'll show you the lab also, not to worry. Okay, first we need to cover the theory and then I'll show you the lab as well, not to worry. Now we need to go for block inheritance. Now what is the meaning of block inheritance? Now block inheritance is what, like imagine I have, this is my OU, this is the parent OU, you can say that. Okay, in that we have child OU. Okay, fine. So if I write over like this, so this is my parent OU, and in this OU I can create another OU that is known as child OU. So this is my child OU. This is my child OU. Okay, it's created under this OU. Okay, like this, I'll showing you. Like if I open my server, okay, and I close it once, open users and computers. Now as you can see that if I create one OU once, okay, this is my OU1, okay, and I am going to create OU under this OU. Like right click on that, click on new, and we have a OU, and this is my OU2, like this. Now I can see that. Now OU1 and OU2. Now OU1, OU2 is running under OU1. As you can see, if I click on OU1, they're showing me OU2 in there. Okay, so we can create like this. We can create the sub OUs as well. Okay, so now what happens in that case? Now, if I apply policy 1 in my parent OU, like if I go for P1, I have a P1. Okay, and apply this P1 on where? I apply this P1 on this OU, the parent OU. So what happens in that case? If I apply any policy on my parent OU, it's automatically apply on child OU as well. That is known as inheritance. Whatever, like how, like imagine that if I apply any permissions on folders, it automatically apply on the files. Same thing. If I apply any policy on my parent OU, it's automatically apply on the child OU as well. Okay, but I don't want to do this. I want that if I apply any policy on parent OU, it's apply only parent OU. It's not apply on child OU, because for child OU I have a separate policies. Okay, like imagine like this, like I have P2 also. We have a P2. Okay, P2. So I want to apply this P2 on child. Only P2. I want to apply this P2 on child OU, and I want to apply this P1 on parent OU. But I don't want that this P1 is apply on child OU as well, because you can see that by default inheritance is running. Okay, so what happens in that case? We can use block inheritance option is there. We can block the policy also. Like if you go to policy, we have the option over there, block inheritance. Like if I open GPMC once more. So now we can go for that. Like if you have, okay, just wait, yes. Now we have the option. Just right click on that. We have the option block inheritance. There it is, block inheritance. Okay. Yeah. Now in OU we have the option block inheritance. Just right click on that. We have the option block. Now if I need to, if I apply any policy to OU1, I don't want to apply the policy on OU2 as well. So I just right click on the OU and go for block inheritance. Block inheritance. Now what happens in that case? If I apply any policy on my OU1, it's not applied to OU2 as well, because I blocked the policy on OU2. Understood? So we can go for like this. So we have the option. This right click on the OU, we have the option block inheritance option is there. If you don't want to use this this option, just click on this. It's automatically disabled. Okay, fine. So like this. So we have the option block inheritance. This is the process, okay, through which we can go for that. Clear? Okay, so so like this we can use a group policies. Okay, fine. Okay, so I think that's it for this session. Okay, I hope you're able to understand these things. Now in next session I'll showing you the practicals. I'll showing you how we can apply some policies, okay, which is mostly used. Okay, so that's it for the session guys. Thank you for watching.